To the sound waves, secrets of the dark maze, dark codes in the nighttime, information, gold lines, whispering in the spotlight, chatting through the late night, smart contracts and lying, auditing, redefying, counters of you in my ear, security we engineer, learn the truth, don't disappear, counters of you in my ear, crypto dreams and data streams, listen close, it's closer than it seems. Fix the flaws, see through the smog, counter serve will join the blog.
Hello and welcome to the Counter Surveil podcast. I, Havoc, otherwise known as Hammer, am here, one of your hosts, along with Sledge. And we have a special guest today, Trauma, who Sledge is going to introduce.
So, Trauma, good friend, coworker, introduce yourself, my friend.
All right, Trauma, or otherwise is Anthony. I'm a security architect for a government agency. I've been in security dedicated for 7 years, but an engineer in some type of technical background for almost 20.
Nice.
So, how did you end up, what did you do before security? What's your come up story? Did you work in a service industry or anything before you got into tech, or how did you get into technology?
Well, first job, like any young guy, is fast food. Started at McDonald's. Got it on my 16th birthday. Went out. That was my goal for my birthday on my 16th, is come home with a job, which I did. Did that until I was able to finish school at 17. I went to college and got 2 degrees in electronic engineering and computer engineering. But I went into the electronic side more than the computer side at first. So I troubleshooted electronic circuit boards for a manufacturing facility. And at the end of it, I was in charge of what they call the bone pile, which is the boards that no one wants to figure out what's wrong with. And so I took that over, and 2 months later, I got like $700,000 of product off the floor. So I went back to school because it still didn't really pay that well, and got a degree in information security systems. But while I was there, I needed a job. And there was a guy that came in for fiber optics and offered me a job at the school, came in, interviewed us there in the classroom, offered me the job. So I went into fiber optics knowing nothing about it. 7 years later, I took over as the technical director of engineering of the fiber optic company. I did that for a little while, but fiber optics wasn't my passion by any means. So in that time, I started studying for security, dedicated in computer security, and I got a job in a MSP and servicing mostly banks at the time, but setting up, dabbling in security there, and then eventually got hired by the government to start out as an analyst and moved my way up to an architect.
I gotta ask, do you still have the fiber optic tools?
Some of them, yeah.
Oh, you should bring them to DEF CON.
I'm worried about getting all these skulls coming to DEF CON right now. I'll figure that out first, and then we can figure out extra stuff.
So, is there any special training that goes into being a security architect? Any particular certifications people should be on the lookout for if that's what they want to do, or learning paths?
So for me, anytime someone asks me what they should do to get in computers, I always start them off with the A+, Net Plus certifications. One, it gives you some repertoire of saying your knowledge to an employer, and it lets you start understanding the technology behind what you're doing. Once you get out of Net Plus and understand networking and the technology behind basic networking, you can really start getting into what do you want to do, and that really branches off from there. For me, I did get into security, but I got a bunch of vendor certs along the way, like Cisco and CFOs, and a bunch of different tools and stuff. But really, I think what really started for me is studying for the CISSP after doing fiber optics for a long time. And then once really got dedicated into that and understanding everything I liked about it, I kind of realized that I was going to end up being a jack of all trades, which the architect role is perfect for.
Did you have somebody sponsor you for the CISSP?
No, because I had to do so much of the security for fiber optics while it was limited into a different section. We still doing physical security. I had to still do like, risk and downtimes and method of procedures and setting up encryption for the communication and all these different aspects of security that I was able to use that as a starting basis of my experience.
How does one architect the security program from the ground up, especially at a company or organization where that hasn't been the priority in the past?
So the real toughness about that is seeing what management wants. Once you can figure out what management wants, you can see where you're at and build a gap assessment, right? I think that is and this is my advice for any going into any security role is start understanding what should be in place and what is not in place and build you a gap from coming in and really understanding the environment that you're in. So you have a road to improve and you know your limitations in the environment that you're existing in.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about is your perspective on controls, gap assessment, stuff like that, because from a red team perspective, we don't deal with that stuff, at least on a private sector perspective.
So it's defense and death, right? Even the basics of security go into defense of death, right? And that's all the controls are meant to do is to give you a starting framework of what you need to do to build your defense and death system, right? So a lot of federal regulators take NIST or ISO and build out their federal regulations to what you're going to have to do in your security environment, right? So you as a red team member, you actually get to bypass a lot of my controls and just kind of get to the heart and potatoes of my system because it is so big and vast that you don't have time to get through a true black box testing, right? But I still have 80% of controls that I still manage that a red team member wouldn't see.
And paperwork out the ass.
Well, if it's not documented, it didn't happen, right? That's the thing when you're talking about the defense side, right? It doesn't matter what you think is the case, it's what matters on paper, right? This is what we did, this is why we did it, this is what we're going to do in the future. You can say we had those conversations or we did this thing or we thought it worked this way, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's what's on paper.
I'm going to need you to put in a ticket.
That's right.
If you have a ticket system.
If you have a ticket system, that's the thing is trying to manage a system where you don't have all the proper tools, like a fragmented system, is really the trick.
Do you think it's more
Spreadsheet
important to have?
nightmare.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sledge.
I just said spreadsheet nightmare. Go ahead with your question.
Oh, in modern day systems, do you think it's more important to have NIDs or HIDs in terms of like I want a good full picture of my environment?
At this point, I don't know if you're going to have both your endpoint and network protection. And I say this as in, it is becoming so apparently that you're not going to be able to have enough data for agentic AI to be able to do it. So, and I believe that's the curve of where we're going. So the more data you can feed into this system, the better it's going to protect you. And so you're going to want sensors across the board to feed into something that is going to be actively protecting your system.
And then when let's say the organization is fragmented, you have to have different contracts and negotiations and routes in place to get all that data into one single or at least one platform to analyze that data.
Right. Well, in the ideal world, you should have an SLA, right? You have an SLA between the people, your security operations, and you have it between your operations, your IT operations, right? So, like, for instance, like, I should have an SLA with any of my customers or any application teams when it comes to what I'm alerting, how long it takes me to alert, and where my start and end of my scope is for alerting them, right? Or actively participating in dealing with the investigation. And there should be a contract basically to each of these customers.
Well, when it comes to enforcing an SLA with, say, a vendor, have you ever run into issues where it takes them too long to respond or to do what they're supposed to do?
So where where the vendors that I work with have to be FedRAMP approved most of the time if we're going to go out into like an outside environment and put it in our data, they have to answer to the same regulators that we do. So there's not much of an option for them to do it. They're just going to have a different audit time. Now, in vendors that are less regulated, where we don't have that, it is very much what's in your contract. If you have the exact right language in your contract, you can get any data you need. But if you miss a line, it's over until you can renegotiate it. And even if things evolve, say like a new control comes out and it's like, okay, that control is not right anymore. This is the best one. It doesn't matter because your contract has the old control. And until you renew it, that is the law, not the new control.
Have you ever
And
tried? Go ahead.
that's like a whole different world that I'm starting to learn. Like the controls for Mercy, I've never even heard of before
Yeah,
until I started working
Marzi.
government. Marzi, yeah.
Yeah. So that is based on what everybody's heard of Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, right? Which dictates states have a information for exchange for insurance systems, right? To help people get insurance easily and be able to navigate all the complexities of Obamacare because it's based on an eligibility system based on income and other factors, right? So, Kentucky, obviously wanting our citizens to be insured as most as possible, is going to go out and do it. And all the states do this. Every single state does this, right? And so you want to get your citizens. So you're going to build this system to get the revenue and to get your citizens employed. And then these are the rules that say, hey, if you want to use our data, if you want to do this, these are the rules you got to follow.
And then you've got, what is it, ArcAmp, or there's a whole
FedRAMP?
bunch out there.
Yeah, so RCamp is the replacement of MarsE. So in this year, March of this year, MarsE 2.2 was out the door, and officially RCamp had to be used, right? And across the nation, all the states have to follow this new set. And it was basically their version of going from NIST 853 Rev 4 to Rev 5 and modernizing it based on all the feedback they had from MarsE, right? So the federal government gets a lot, right? So if it turns out that no state can comply with the control, it might not be the best control to implement, right? Because every state's saying, well, we can't do it.
Interesting. Okay.
When it comes to like end user desktop locking them down, you guys ever follow a standard like STIG or CISA benchmarks, like in terms of like what you need to do to lock down your systems at a baseline?
So for me, I do not have to deal with any individual lockdown or stuff. That there's a response team that totally handles that, and if there is forensics that have to be done, there's a specialized team that has to do that, and they're the only ones allowed to do it. So mine is more setting up the rules, who communicates with who, what are the rules of being locked down. If they violate this policy, how fast you got to be terminated, who you got to get approval from to get it terminated. So I have to set up that across the board for any type of incident we might have.
Do you have a workflow for that?
It's an ever
It
evolving one.
evolves.
I would like to say yes, but it's like it's so complex, and really when you get into all the different types of incidents that you can have, building out a complete playbook in a environment where you have essentially, you know 50,000 internal possible workers and then up to a million external users, like it takes it takes a long time to build that playbook.
I can
And I
imagine.
will say, like, working for government versus private sector, it's night and day. Private sector, most of these problems we could fix in a week. Government, it just crawls.
Well, because everything has to be done by a committee, right? By a quorum, right? You cannot do anything in a small group, right? Your small group has to approve it, and then it has to go to several other different groups, and they have to approve it as well. So by the time that happens, you might have 100 people sign off on this one thing from all these different groups, but that might have took 2 to 3 months to get that approvals.
By the time you get approvals, there's a new regulation that you got to adhere to.
I
And
remember
we
when I
had
worked
that.
with local government, it was a time of Windows 8, and we were all still rocking XP because both parts of the legislature needed to approve a change to get an operating system upgrade. So they couldn't agree between the Democrats and the Republicans, so they didn't pass a budget for it. So it just never happened. And we just stayed on XP like way past the time you're supposed to be on XP.
Did you get the extended support for it?
Yeah, we actually were cheating. We were doing the hacked reg key thing back then.
Oh, yeah.
So we now operate independently now and just have our own independent oversight. So there is no longer there's a master regulation basically in place. So if the IT people agree that it needs to be done, it starts happening through that process and have a dedicated budget. We no longer have to wait on the legislature to upgrade or do anything. And then, in fact, we have a policy of automatic upgrades every 5 years.
That's also the interesting difference between private and public. Public, you have an incentive to make money, and then your budget's a little more flexible because you could do X and make more. Private or public, you have like an allowance that you have to work with, or at least
Right.
justify.
Well, if you get more, that means somebody got taxed more, right? When you're in the government, if you're spending money, you're spending taxpayer money at some pool, right?
Yeah.
So it should be justified. There should be some expenses that on the book, and it should be auditable and trackable when you're spending public money. But also, we got to realize that we need to spend public money to protect the public because it's getting harder and harder to do that.
Yeah, that's a big push and pull at the moment, like for everybody, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and when governments get hacked, I mean, it's really bad for the people that are from that area. Generally, like leaks of all sorts of personal data, things that you wouldn't want out there.
Right. And then we're seeing, like with Mythos and other things, how easy it is for AI to actually hack and expose data. So as that becomes more popular, if you don't have basically an AI defense tool, you're going to get outdone.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
literally what it's going to come down to. AI versus AI. A buddy and I, we were playing around with Claude and Claude Code, Claude Desktop, Agentic AI, all that stuff. And we trained each agent to be proficient in different aspects of security. So, like, one would be web app, one would be internal, one would be social engineering, whatever. And we would just stick it on CTFs. And we were getting almost every flag within half an hour. So CTFs are dead at this point.
And so you was able to make that how fast on your own?
I don't know, an hour.
So yeah, And I think that's where it is, and people are scared to evolve. I think businesses and government alike are scared to evolve very fast, and government is meant to move slow. It's just in this day and age is we're getting to the point if you don't have the cutting edge tools, you're not going to defend against the cutting edge tools.
We have to. Everybody has to embrace AI. It's inevitable.
And when I was in government work, it was many years ago, but we had a flat network all across the county. Like you could literally ping any computer anywhere else in the county. It was just one network, and they all used this remote access tool that if there was a trick where if you ran it as system, you could remote into anybody else's machine on the network as system, and they wouldn't see it happening. It was just like chaos.
There was a buddy of mine
That was
that
with
worked as a sysadmin role, and he would go to certain stores and update their systems, right? And he found that this one home improvement store was on a flat network, and he could upgrade everything in the country from one terminal in the city that he lived in, so he didn't have to fly around.
Wow. Great and horrible news at the same time, right? Like great for that guy, but like the security guy, if there is one, basically is like rolling in his grave from being fired because some worker forgot to go turn off their computer while they went to the bathroom and everything is exposed, right? That's what Target, right? Happened with Target, basically.
Target it was
Home Depot.
HVAC. Target was the HVAC system pivoted.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. And Home Depot multiple times got popped through different ways.
Well, one time they DOSed themselves. That was pretty funny.
I worked for a Home Depot like store many years ago, and I worked there for
you could just say Lowe's.
I could if that were it.
So Ace, got it.
Maybe. So I was approaching day 89, and one of my friends let me know that they were firing all the people that they hired along with me because they didn't want to give us health insurance on the 90-day mark. And my manager was had told me like tomorrow when you come and see me first thing in the morning. So I knew it was coming, and I took a router that I had, not really a travel router. It was like a little Linksys thing, and set it to do primary DHCP for their network and plugged it in the network closet. I just left, and I put his name on it, so everybody thought that he was the one who put that thing in there because he wanted to maybe use his phone and get on the internet at work. So he got fired, which was great.
That is a great sabotage.
A buddy did that at Caesar's Palace and got nixed or 86'd out of there because the server closet room door was open and he just plugged into it.
Okay. When I was in college, I was taking a web hacking course, and the instructor and I was able to get onto the campus's local authentication portal, and we made a redirect where if you try to go to the school website and log in, you went to ours little one, and then we recorded the username password and redirected them back to the real thing, right? And it just
that's an evil main attack.
Yeah, and it just said like, sorry, you typed in your username or password wrong. Click here to try again, right? And then they would reload to the right screen and they go on, right? So we let this thing run for like 2 weeks and collected a lot of data. I don't even know how much at this point, but we go and take it to the IT department of like, hey, this is what happened. This is what we can do and stuff. And we think we're helping them out, dude. And the IT turned to like total menace. Like they hated us from the rest of the time that me and that professor was at the school. He didn't renew his contract. I was out after that semester because they was so bad that we like took advantage of the computer. And we had like every professor's password and like most of the students.
We did something similar. If we wanted to swap war stories, I did a physical engagement for, we can't say client names, but a government agency whatever out in Virginia. So I was walking up or riding up and down the elevator for 4 hours, cleaning people's cards, whatever. But Wi-Fi testing was also part of the engagement. So we were doing something very similar. We would overpower the access point that they were connecting to, cloning it so they would connect to us, and we cloned their access page or the login page. So we would collect their credentials and then forward them and those credentials to the real login page, and they would just log in. We had every single employee, every one of them.
That's nice. Yeah, we never got it where we could forward the credentials. We attempted to get that to work, but it did not ever take on its own. So that's even better because I mean, surely that was harder to detect that way.
Much simpler. When I went to college the first time around 2000, the college had given every teacher a home directory, but that home directory was a publicly accessible website. So anything they put in there, if they put it index.htm, they'd have their own little web page there, on the .edu/. One professor decided on that website to put a text file with every student's name, social security number, and a bunch of other really bad information that you shouldn't have on there. And when I went to go search for something in the search, like that little built-in search engine on the webpage, it found that particular file when I typed my last name. So then I brought it to that professor's attention, went to his office. He happened to be in charge of the IT department as well. And I worked there, and he was not happy, and he accused me of hacking, and they took my job away from me as a result at that college.
Ooh, man.
I worked in the computer lab doing stuff like scanning people's ID cards, and which, by the way, when you'd scan an ID card at this college, it had a magnetic strip. When you scan that magnetic strip, the numbers that would populate on the keyboard into our little database was literally just a social security number. So we're not.
Oh, that's so bad.
It's just bad that you see the numbers themselves more or less that they use the SSC.
At least obfuscate it, shit.
No, they go right into a field, and then you'd have to click OK with the mouse. It was great.
Those mag strips was what I did for my senior project in college. I swear to God, I think the DOD stole my idea. I made a little thing to copy cards and store it in memory and then replay it over an electromagnet, and I demonstrated it in front of the DOD for my senior project. A year later, boom, we've got Google Pay with that card where you could push the button and switch between cards. I think somebody stole my idea.
Man. So that's a big difference between like what I did in school and what you did in school, right? So what I did as like architect training, if you will, is I had to write like basically a 2-page version of every policy a manufacturing facility would need with 3 manufacturing facilities in an HQ. And I had to like design a network with all the security tools and data flows with all the security policies. And then I presented that in front of business leaders in my community. And then they reviewed like how well that it was accurate to what they did at their facility or not. That's how I was graded for my final project.
Nice. Hey, what's up, Harley? Good to see you.
Yeah. Ooh, my senior project, my capstone project, was called Hospital Watchdog, and I took an RTL SDR, and I was recording all the POCSAG traffic from the local hospital, POCSAG and Flex. Anytime a page went out, I got it, and I stored it in a text file, and we indexed that text file into a database. And then we essentially searched through that data for things that shouldn't be there, like social security numbers, insurance ID numbers, found a bunch of them. And it was a pretty cool project.
When I first started here, where I was at like a decade ago, we ran a search for everyone's shared folders, and it turned out every group folder on the network had everyone's share permission attached to it. So that was fun. Yeah,
building a file server permission.
Yeah, I was like, I have 600,000 folders. That was how many we identified. We had a little over 600,000 folders of shared folders with everyone permission on it.
So
we had to nix
about that, one of my buddies I recommended for a job, and he went in to the interview. One of the biggest gift card companies, second largest in the world. And before he even got to the interview process, he was DA because of that.
He was already. He was domain admin before he finished the interview because of the everyone shares.
He was domain admin before he even got to the interview. He was sitting in the lobby and just hacked the whole place.
I couldn't think of a better way to get a job if he's a red team member and be like, well, I already hacked your whole network. Do you want me to let you know how or not? Like, give me the job.
He got the job.
Yeah.
He runs the team now.
Put yourself on the interview invite. You're the one who invited yourself to the interview.
Yes.
Good times.
My interview was fairly easy. It was like, here's like 40 questions about security scenarios that you might face. What are you going to do with these? How are you going to handle it? How are you going to fix it? What process would you implement? And it was just like a lot of these is like, well, I will look at the control, I look at the data, I look at the resources we have, the processes we have, and see what I can fix and make out of it. Right? The less manual it is, the better. But if you have to do a manual process, that's better than no control at all.
When you say control, elaborate on that, because a lot of private sector red teamers, we don't have to even think about that stuff. So what does that exactly mean? What does that entail?
I mean, no, really, like after you guys are part of one of the processes, right? So you get the vulnerability report and you hand it over. Well, that kicks off a remediation process, right? Every one of those controls you hand over, we now have to go through and evaluate how much risk that provides to us as a, entity in our data. We have to evaluate what it'll take to fix it. When can that be introduced to the environment? Because we have a dedicated SDLC process, right? So no change is going to happen overnight. Most of our changes involve a 2-month process because we validate in so many different environments and some different testing scenarios before we put it in production. But you do kick off that scenario. But if there was, say, you handed it off and you're saying, well, here's 10 vulnerabilities and there was no feedback or no process there to get those remediated, then that's the failure of the control, right? Because while we did meet the pen test control, we never met the vulnerability remediation part of that same control.
So when you say control, it's kind of like a step in the SDLC process.
Well, it's being able to show that you're doing it and proving that you're doing it and that you're fixing anything that hinders the control from being implemented the way it's designed. So whether that's like access control, where you're going through your identity access management process, where you're getting permissions to access servers and databases, right? That's one way of doing it. But we also have like a privileged access manager that makes sure you are non-repudiated and stuff. But if these logs are not reviewed, they're like, well, we don't have the control in place. Because it doesn't matter what control you have in place if someone's not actively monitoring the output of the data.
Right. And then I guess you just passed your CISA, right? How was that?
So I've always been really good at taking tests. I've took electronic tests, soldering tests. It doesn't matter. I've always been a really good test taker. So I took several certification tests at this point. My CISSP was by far the hardest, just because I would say that the CISSP is a test where you have to have the knowledge as wide as an ocean, but the depth of a puddle. Right? You got to know a little bit of everything, but you don't have to know anything in depth, right? But you need to know the basics about any principle, whether that be the CPU chip or how the IPS triggers or your ACL line coding, right? You have to know a little bit about everything to be able to pass it. So that's what makes it hard, is because you need to make sure you have a very vast knowledge out there. So I spent a lot of time doing, I did like a boot camp, an online boot camp of videos, and then I proceeded to get 8,000 practice questions, go through every single one of them, every single one that I had wrong, read why I had wrong, and try to understand why I got it wrong in the first place until I basically understood all 8,000. Then I went and took it. That was the hardest one. I got exactly to 150 questions before it passed. I don't know what I made it by, but I made it barely. I know that. Every other one has been easy since that. The CISM, the CISA, your CCSP, and all the other ones have been easier from that. So I feel like if you can get that one in security, you can get any of the rest.
I honestly learned a lot about the business angle of things studying the CISA with you, or CISA, CISM, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
makes you think from a different point of view.
And that's what an architect has to bring in mostly. Mostly your job is to bring in all your point of views and try to get them into a cohesive working process, right? So I'm bringing in like the technical guy that knows a lot about the technicals, but I also got to bring in the business guy that knows how much he can afford. I got to bring in the IT guy because he knows how much time he can spend working on it, implementing it, and scripting whatever else that he's got to do to it, and we all got to get on the same page, and it has to be good enough for everybody. So, and that's really what my job is, to make sure things flow and stay secure.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the answer is always follow the money.
Or figure out how to do it as cheaply as possible. Yeah. We want this done, but we don't want to spend money on it. What can you do?
But what, we won't let you run your own scripts or use AI, so figure it out.
I think that'll end up having to be, there's going to end up having to be a process implemented for a lot of those things, is because we don't have enough functionality and enough people to be able to support the size of IT department we have.
Well, we're not talking about we, just in general. Let's say large company as we. So
Same
large
difference.
company, I'm noticing that a lot of vendors, well, you notice too, that a lot of vendors that we've worked with in the past, I don't think they're even prepared for an organization this large. We come to them with questions and they're just sitting there like,
Well, yeah, even our, like, when we're going to like DaaS vendors and we're like, what do you want? They're like, how much do we got to handle? And we're like, well, it's going to be over 100 different unique applications. And they're like, wait a minute, what? Like, like we got to really think about how much resources it's going to take and how much time it's going to take to implement all those. Or, and what it takes on the human resource side to run a tool that can do that. Even with the AI tool, you're going to have to constantly have someone feeding new data in there, and there is always going to be a human element to keep these tools running, and factor in that in with the limited resources that you have.
yeah, it's just there. I'm reminded of a comment I made to you a few weeks ago of like, I kind of feel that some of these tools, everybody got on the bandwagon for like detection and DAS scanning and all this stuff back in the day, and they all hopped on the bandwagon of like Q radar and all this stuff, and they got it all implemented. And then all of a sudden, technology changed, but the vendor tools did not keep up, and now they can't do anything. They can't do shit.
And we've seen that, right? Like, we've recently basically have talked to all the major vendors, right, for this particular
Yes.
software. And very, very few of them can actually do the intended function of the job in the complex environment we at. Now they have
They'll
some
tell
just
you all day they can, but when you actually put it into practice,
and in some ways it's not their fault because, like I said, we have to have so much defense in depth. We've set up 18 security controls so no one can scan our network and just figure out our vulnerabilities, right? And then this tool needs to be able to bypass those 18 controls so they can get in and scan. Um, and I don't think the tools have kept up with the need of bypassing the security functions that are implemented in a modern day time. I see we lost our guy.
Correct.
He returns.
But yeah, I'm curious to walk through the vendor
Mute.
area at DEF CON this year and see what we can find. Just have some
Oh,
conversations with some vendors and just see what's out there these days.
for some of them, you're gonna know their tool better than they know it.
Oh yeah, that's literally par for the course. I know the tool better than the people trying to sell it.
It's crazy when they're trying to sell it and you're like, okay, well, do you have this function? Can I do this? Can I do these things? And they're like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to get back to you. And it's like, who was you expecting to talk to in this conversation?
And I just reverse engineer the API in 2 seconds and get everything.
And now they're asking for somebody to do it for them. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Good times. But anyways, how much resin you got left? I think Havoc is taking a break for a minute.
Oh, okay. I know he's going in and out there. So for red resin, so we should talk about our prep for DEFCON in this. So for the red resin, I'm on my last run. I got a 4-piece running instead of the 8 stack that I had running, and that'll finish out the red. And then I'm working on designing the 2 large skulls. I'm going to see if I can print your sledge and my trauma at the same time. Or I can
That'd be
do
cool.
just 2 of the 2 combo ones. That'd probably be better since the symbol's better. Now that I think about it.
Now that I got this fancy new printer, I kind of want to see how they turn out with the PLA. What is it called? PLA Silk. I've never worked with this filament before. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, try.
it's super smooth. You can't even. It looks like resin.
Do it. Try it out. I'd love to have it. And like just at least bring, make 2 of them so we can have it. But yeah, I'm going to get the glow in the dark ones of our skulls ready, and then after that I'll be making the little mini ones. But I did bring them in here to kind of show them off what we got going on here. So we got the basic white skulls going on here. And these are
Trying to put
before
you
we
in front of the stage. There you go.
I don't know if it's going to focus. You can see
Focus,
that
you
there's writing.
fuck.
Yeah, you can see that there's writing on the back. And this is our older design. And then it has the LinkedIn address inside. Just the white ones. And then we've upgraded to some red, translucent red. Okay. And now we're on to our new design, which let me pull out one of those because I think you'll get a kick out of it. So this is probably going to be the worst in red to see out of any of them. I think the other ones you will see better, the white and gray, and even the glow and dark than we do in this translucent red. But that's our new one.
Is that the one with the logo on it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't even see it.
You can in person.
Oh,
See,
there it is. There it is. Now we can
you
see
can
it.
in person. It's really good.
Oh,
actually.
that's so cool. That's so sick.
And see, there's our names down there. So we got it, and it goes over the lantern. It does fit. I've measured it out. So there's the bottom hole for it to slip on, and obviously the trauma hole is plenty big. So
and then for context, these were all designed using AI only. I could have done this by hand in 5 minutes, but I spent 2 weeks using AI only. That's kind of my goal for the year is use AI for everything.
That's great. And then this is just the gray version, which we'll probably come back to. But I'm really excited to get into the glow in the dark. And thank you, Harley, for that's hella cool. Yeah, I can't wait to hand these out to people at DEF CON. I think people are going to get a kick out of it, and I'm hoping to see a lot of people wearing them out and about. Conversation about it.
Hey, I'm going to shout out to Harley. She runs a radio station out of, what was it, Chattanooga? I don't remember. Put it in the chat.
But other than that, I do have my. I'll show you real quick. I do have my backpack ready to go. I'm hoping to get a lot of merch to attach to it, and
That is going to change bigly.
what do you mean?
You're gonna have so many patches, you're gonna run out of space real quick.
Yeah, I need to get some more Velcro for it.
I'm bringing some with me. Don't worry about it.
All right, awesome.
And a hot glue gun and a solder iron and all sorts of tools. And yeah, you got to expect the unexpected.
I'm just going to be bringing, hopefully like 200 skulls for us to hand out.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. But yeah, the printer's going around the clock. It's a 6-hour print for each round, and I can get up to 8. So we'll see where I get to. Over at a college radio station. What kind of music do you play?
You still need to play some of my hardcore shit that I sent you. But yeah, this new printer, it's the Bamboo P2S, and it is glorious. I did a test run.
Show it. Can you show your inside camera? You don't have to show my face anymore.
So So I did a test run, and this filament is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a test run, so it's super light, super breakable. So it broke when I was just messing with it. But at the moment, the new one is 100% infill, and I believe there's 12 layers of outside walls. So it's going to take up almost an entire roll.
Do you think it'll be like resilient to actually be able to hit things with it and not break?
Yes, because wherever it went. Because this is how I keep it from breaking. I have this metal rod that goes all the way to the bottom. So in the 3D print, there's a bore hole that goes all the way from the shaft to the head, giggity.
Okay.
And that holds it all together with JB Weld, and it never breaks. This is actually considered a weapon by the TSA, so I can't take it on my checked bags anymore. I got in trouble last year.
Oh,
it
wow.
weighs about 7 pounds.
And now, if it didn't have the metal rod in it, do you think they still consider it a weapon?
Yes, because it's 100% infill. It weighs 5 pounds without the metal rod.
Fair enough.
This thing is it's like a real hammer.
Oh no, man! Someone messed up her whole radio station. That's horrible. Look, dude, I was asking you for your badges. You got 1,000 of them hanging behind you.
Yeah, I've been around. Am I still in solo mode? Damn it.
Do you have the camera? Do you have it printing right now, like with the camera set up where you can see the print happening?
So the funny part is it doesn't run on this laptop. I have to use a different laptop.
Oh, ouch.
It's kind of annoying. How the freaking... There it is. But hey, Harley, you want to jump on?
So what do we have? So what do we have planned afterwards, right? So we're gonna do in the mornings. We're gonna do like the goon thing, right? Walk around, help people out. Awesome. In the afternoons, probably see some things, or at least I will. You probably seen all the exhibits, but I would like to see them. And then what? What are we doing in the evening?
So I was hoping to have more goons on the call to have this conversation, but when you're gooning, you do get breaks and you have free time, and basically you just roam around sometimes. They'll designate you an area, but it's not completely strict, if you will.
Okay.
So you can go around and check out workshops in different areas if you want. It used to be more difficult because it was spread out between hotels and it would take you an hour to get from one place to another. But now that it's all in one building, you can just walk around and see the whole thing in half an hour. Call it a lunch break.
Okay. Well, that'd be
So
cool.
last year, I was just doing my rounds and picked all the locks at the lockpicking village, walked away, but then everybody pulled me back and they're like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "I gotta go back to work."
Trade secrets you don't get to know. Here's the easy one. Learn this tool. Give them like the scraper tool for their basic lock picking.
Oh no. It's like, these motherfuckers are what's up. This is what got us in trouble the other day.
What did you use them on?
Actually, I'm not going to self-incriminate, so we won't talk about that.
Oh, I was just talking about the item, not what it was. But yeah, fair enough. Don't do that.
They're called leashy tools. They can unlock everything from quickset to schleg to car doors.
Nice. And you just ordered them offline?
Yeah.
It's
You don't
crazy.
even need a license anymore for half of this shit.
Because everything's on. Yeah, I mean, like they even have pill press on Amazon. And at that point, you're just giving up on society of what you can and cannot buy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this is fun, but I
hang
need to
on.
get to printing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's have Harley on for a second.
Yeah, oh, sure. I'd like to meet her.
Where'd you go? You're somewhere. Where are you at? You're in my Discord somewhere. Ping me real quick, Harley. I think you go by two names. I think this is you. There. Jump in. You fuck.
There we go. I like this background. Other than you got the like Gen Z vape thing going on.
My light is too bright. I gotta fix that. That's kind of weird.
When a couple of my kiddos move out, I'm gonna redo my office and I'm gonna put a whole shelving system behind and have like my own like unique custom background. That's what I'm waiting on. Supposed to have 2 of them move out this year.
My office is insane. I don't know if I think I've posted 2 videos online about it, but there's 38 monitors in this room and so many badges and flags that I'm legitimately out of wall space.
How is it burning up in that room? Is it like
Yes.
hot as hell?
When they're all turned on, yes.
Because
I had to run 220 and everything.
2 to the room?
Yeah. And then I had to run 220 to the server room upstairs, and then 220 to the PA system.
Now, what are you
tripping the breakers?
What are you connecting to it? Just all the electronics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just center tapped. I get it.
It's like there's a floor to ceiling of servers and switches. for one circuit. The other one is 5 amplifiers and 25 powered speakers. Like
What is that for?
I do audio for the East Coast for live shows every now and then. And when I'm bored, I just turn them on in the upstairs room with the pool table and drum set, recording studio, all kinds of shit.
Wow. So I have a lot of tools, but nothing in comparison to the amount of tools you've racked up.
Yeah, there's a CNC machine in the garage, and a glow forge, and now a new 3D printer. And
Yeah, I'm trying to get the use out of my resin printer for a while, but I do think that 3D printer is going to happen for me. Hello.
What's up,
Sup?
Harley?
Long time no see.
How was Europe?
Honestly, it was an experience. Like there was a lot of good. There was a little bit of bad, a little bit of side questing I have to do related to some of the bad that goes on in Europe. But honestly, it was worth it. You know, the whole trip was worth it.
Nice.
Sweet.
What was your favorite part?
Honestly, visiting Amsterdam was my absolute favorite part about Europe.
Did you do the red light shit?
Sort of. I sort of went by there while I was walking around the streets of Amsterdam, but decided I'm just going to hang out in the gay district for a while.
Is it a different light?
That's a
That
good
was a
question.
Huh?
That was a joke.
No,
Like
that's
you said,
actually a
you
good
went and hanging
question.
out in the gay district. That's like, is that a different light instead of red? Is it like your green light over
Yeah,
there?
it's more like the pink light district.
I want to go to Amsterdam. But I do think I might end up going to England next year. Excuse
England
me.
would be sick.
It would be. I genuinely wish I had more time to explore England outside of the airport. But those layovers, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I got a heck of a layover coming back from Vegas.
Yikes.
Layovers are actually fun coming back from DEF CON because all the fellow hackers are going to be there too. So we call it Airport Con.
I mean, I'm sure at Vegas, but like, I'm gonna be stuck in Dallas for like 6 hours.
Me too. I'll see you there.
Okay, we're taking the same flight out. Oh no, we're not. You're leaving at 3. I'm leaving at 8 a.m.
We might cross paths. I don't know. Either way, look for other hackers and start a little convention right there at the bar.
Yeah, look for other people. Hopefully, I find someone with a skull or something.
Just wear a hacker shirt and sit at the bar, and you'll create a crowd around you.
I do need to get some shirts of that nature. That would be a wise idea.
What size are you?
Extra large.
I might have some for you because I was going to hand them out at my wedding, but I got divorced. So I still have about 400 pounds worth of excess t-shirts.
Heck yeah. Take some t-shirts, but I do think I'm on it. To fit the skulls though, to fit them, one of my I have a pearl snap dress shirt, and it is pinstriped in little skulls. So I'm definitely going to be sporting that one day.
Oh, that would be perfect. That's cool.
Yeah.
So Harley, what were you saying? I didn't read that comment. Something about the station?
Yeah, so let me see. So basically, we had an issue at the radio station while I was gone. Somebody kept putting in the wrong passwords on one of the computers that I load the music in through, and now nobody can get in. So the radio station and the college will probably have to shell out for a new computer, which honestly, I think it's for the best because y'all have seen how outdated all our shit was anyway.
Yes, it's horrible. So the question
know.
becomes, do you want to actually fix the problem or troll and get a new computer? Because bypassing that
Sure.
password is really easy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really should. I really should offer to fix that computer and see if I can get the password reset on it.
Put Conboot on a USB stick, problem solved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
it's real
think
easy.
I think it's an issue with the BIOS because apparently it's not really a Windows issue. It's more like a BIOS password issue. So something had to have happened that
Oh,
would
it might be
require me to-
compromised then.
Probably.
Interesting.
You can
That
find
might be something to take a look into.
like someone put like ransomware on it, or like someone at the station put a BIOS password on it.
Yeah, that's huge
yeah,
red flag.
there is a BIOS password that keeps it from booting up without authentication.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Do you have
my
a
home
throwing star?
computers, I have that.
Do you have one of those throwing stars from Hack 5 or like an extra router? Like do a man in the middle between that network connection and monitor it, see what's going on. It might actually be compromised.
It could be, who knows?
It'd be fun to fuck around and find out.
It would
Send it
be.
to Sledge. He'll find out who it is and hack him back.
Well, hacking back is still in the courts. It's still illegal.
That's true.
I've been doing a lot of fuck around and find out all year.
The last time I did, I got 86 from the hotel and then surfed a horse on the North Carolina beach on the ocean.
Let's try not to get kicked out next month.
We won't get into too much trouble, but I can no guarantees.
Well,
just
if it's trouble, we just need to be able to pin it on somebody else.
Yes. Y'all need a scapegoat to pin it
Yeah.
all on.
Usually I have a guy, his name is Quincy, and we're like, fucking Quincy, we blame everything on him.
So you said there's going to be like 40,000 people to this conference, right?
I think last year was 30,000 or 34,000, something around there. This year with this new venue, I don't know because they upped the price. So it's hard to make a prediction.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's a way better venue.
Yeah, but it's going to be more than yeah, it's going to be an overwhelming amount. How many goons you think are going to be there for that amount? 500?
Yeah, 500-ish.
Yeah, so I might order more red resin in that case.
So the SOC team, I think there's 30 per shift-ish. But then there's like a dozen other teams working in the background. We are the only public-facing team.
Well, then I think I'm going to have to get some more red resin. So, I mean, I feel like everybody on our team needs to have a skull running around, right?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
It's just something I would throw on the shared sticker table and see who wants one or doesn't. You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying enough to offer.
Just drop them on the table and see if anybody wants one, because everybody does that. We have a table in the back in the SOC of everybody that brings shit. If you want something, grab it out of the box and whatever. So that would be a good addition.
Oh, I'm confident people would want this.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm confident. So I'm going to get some resin right now.
God, $80 a bottle? Jesus.
What are you getting?
My resin or my filament's $18 a spool.
So no, the red is $18 for a kilogram, but it's the glow in the dark resin that was so expensive. It's $56. Okay. And then if I wanted UV resin, it's $63. But yeah, I don't feel like we need that.
UV would be badass because it's Vegas.
It is.
Hell
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Well,
Iron
maybe
Geek. I would say bring the stickers anyway.
Mm. And then we've got the NFC chips to put in some of them. These are the ones that go on your fingernails, so they slide right into the skulls. And then I've got this other one that I haven't pulled out of the packaging yet, but this one is getting implanted in my tooth on the 28th.
Yes.
And all you do the hell out of it. Even if it's retarded.
Now, Sledge, I did mention the last time you had me on, if I was going to make it out to Europe, I would make it out to the Chaos Computer Club Hackerspace over in Berlin.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, I have never been to a real hackerspace.
Wait, you made it?
I actually made it there.
Holy shit. I have not yet. That's awesome.
You should.
So we're talking
if you ever
about
go to-
Chaos Computer Club, right?
Yeah,
Oh, those guys are legends.
they are. Like, that was a real privilege to meet several of the OG hackers of Berlin.
Yep.
Made friends with one person who I started out just nodding and listening. I didn't understand German at the moment, but we got to conversing, and we exchanged signals. Got their GitHub. I met one other person, an OG hacker. Told her about y'all's podcast. They told me about the podcast that they do on YouTube or
What's
Spotify.
theirs?
I have to look it up real quick. I know I favorited it on my laptop somewhere.
But speaking of OG hackers, that was the whole point of KnuckleCon, was the history of hacking. So the guy that literally invented the first laptop signed my horse.
The good news is I'm not expected to travel abroad next summer, so maybe I'll try to make it out to SaltCon next year.
It's not happening.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No.
I can't get into details. There's a public statement that has been released, but it's not happening again.
Damn.
It sucks. Everybody that was there says it was like top 3 best weekends of their entire fucking life. Same with me, and that's saying something. Because I have a lot of fun.
Dang, that's very unfortunate.
But anyways,
I want to get another 2 kilograms of red resin.
we are at an hour. So any closing
Nice.
thoughts before we kill it?
No, I hope Havoc is okay. I know he didn't get to come back, but I hope he's all good. And thank you for having me. This was fun. I'd like to do it
wait.
again.
Iron Geek. No, wait, that's not you. That's probably Trauma. Is that actually Iron Geek? I think we all share the same freaking account.
No, that's not me. I got some stickers that I like to put on some tables, potentially some that might offend. That's great. I'm gonna
Honestly,
show
More
you.
offensive, more better. Let's go.
Exactly. That's why I say
I'm
bring the offensive stickers.
Is Iron Geek a goon? Is that what we got?
So, if you're not part of the hacker culture, Iron Geek is one of the guys that used to. I don't know if he still does, but he was the guy that traveled around to conferences and did all the videos for hacker talks at conferences and posted it on YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I believe he had his own podcast there for a minute.
Well, Iron, if you're coming, these are what I'm going to be putting on the table for goons, is these little skulls that it's hard to see right now unless I get it at the perfect angle, but it does have the conference logo on it. There we go. Our names, and then a little Easter egg inside, if you can find it, of a little LinkedIn dress. So I'll steal some of your stickers and you can grab a skull.
And I'll be easy to spot, so just find me. And with that, let's wrap it up.
And don't
Later,
forget
guys.
to
Nice
subscribe
meeting
to
you,
my
Harley.
Only Freaks.
Hey, I think, do we still have OnlyPones? I need to look. Anyways, peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Hack the planet.
Hey, only Rental can say it.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.